This is Ultimate Fight News, bringing you the latest updates from the MMA world. Today, we're breaking down the growing concerns around UFC 311 possibly being relocated, or even cancelled, due to the ongoing California wildfires. The MMA community is on edge as the situation in California continues to escalate. According to the Washington Post, as of 3 a.m. Friday morning, the fires remain uncontained, with the Palisades fire only 6% contained. Firefighters expect stronger winds and dry conditions heading into next week, making things even more dangerous. This is especially concerning for UFC 311, scheduled to take place at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, Los Angeles. Evacuations are already underway, and with worsening conditions, the risk of holding a massive event in LA seems questionable. NBC has reported that the worsening weather conditions could further delay containment efforts. If the fires continue spreading, the UFC may be forced to either relocate or cancel the event entirely. But relocating an event of this scale isn't simple. Tickets have already been sold, fighters are booked in hotels, press conferences are scheduled, and thousands of fans are traveling to LA just for this event. Changing venues would be a logistical nightmare. However, the most realistic option? The UFC Apex in Las Vegas. It's close enough for a quick move and far less complicated than rescheduling the entire card. But with UFC 311 being a huge pay-per-view featuring Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan, a move to the smaller Apex could hit the gate revenue hard. Would the UFC risk a smaller venue? Or could we see a complete postponement? Here's what the MMA community had to say. Intuit Dome, which is scheduled to host UFC 311, is Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan in 10 days, has just cancelled Rod Wave's concert and rescheduled the Trinity Mission League showcase due to the ongoing fire situation in Los Angeles. Both were originally scheduled for today. Do you think it's possible for UFC 311 to be cancelled or moved because of the fires? I hope it gets better just in time for UFC 311, but worst case scenario, they will change the venue. They won't cancel the event. Where does the UFC move next week's UFC 311 pay-per-view with LA on fire and 0% containment? Firefighters have said for years that LA was always subject to high winds that could destroy the city under the right circumstances. Well, drop where they move it. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if UFC 311 gets moved to Vegas. It doesn't sound like they're remotely close to containing these fires. How can you run events and take resources away from that for a cage fight? Let's be serious. Dana, you better not cancel the event. I need to see the Goblin lose, man. On January 18th. Ain't no way UFC 311 is going to be in LA next week. Might as well move the card to Vegas. Are the UFC going to find a new venue for UFC 311 next week? These fires are horrible, and no way anyone should be near LA for a bit. Probably. I'm not an expert, so I don't know how long the fires go for. Could we see UFC 311 end up in the Apex if everything is booked? Just thinking. So, what's next? Will the UFC move UFC 311 to the Apex, secure another venue, or delay the 7th altogether? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the fires will impact this card, or will Dana White find a solution just in time?